Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. And as I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen when you focus on what is good. You want to have thoughts filled with things to build you up. That's right. You want to have thoughts about things to make you feel good. You want to have thoughts about things to lift your spirit. You don't want to be down. You don't want to be sad. You want to be focused and you want to be lifted. Yes, to project something good to happen, because what you give your energy to and what you put your focus on has the power to manifest. Yes, indeed. I hope everyone is having a good Tuesday. If you are out there traveling about today, make sure you stay focused. Make sure you pray. It never hurts to pray. Make sure you are not distracted by being on your cell phone too much, because a lot of people are on their phones too much in the public. And if you are doing that, that means you are distracted. Yes, I said it. That means you are distracted if you are on your phone too much. That's right. So focus on what is good and don't be distracted. And I hope everybody, like I said, is having a good day, because it's a wonderful day. If you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor. Once again, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Yes, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or at Venmo at SB Favor. Thank you so much for your support and your donations. Well, I have an inspirational quote for you today. But before I get into the inspirational quote, I would just like to say thank you to everyone that has supported this podcast. Those who give, those that have taken the time to come on and just talk with me over the last 4 years. I've been doing this podcast for 4 years, and it's been an amazing experience, and I am just so thankful. I'm thankful for the support. I'm thankful for the feedback, those that share the podcast, people that contact me and ask questions about the podcast, just all of the support, and those that have been with me from day one. I just say to you right now, thank you. I appreciate you so much, and this journey has been a great blessing to me personally, because when I share inspirational quotes and when I share life experiences, it just inspires me again. I write all of my own inspirational quotes. Yes. And I write them because each day I start the day with a quote based upon something I'm thinking about. And if I decided to share it on the podcast, that's what I do. So this journey has been, like I said, a great blessing to me, because I've met a lot of people along the way, and it has allowed me to be more open. Yes, more open, more transparent, more safe to be vulnerable with the public, because it's not easy to be vulnerable with the public, but it's okay to be vulnerable with the public. And what do I mean by that? By simply just being who you are, not caring about what people think, but just being who you are, because none of us are perfect, but being who you are and showing up in the moment helps you to relate to someone else, and it also it will help someone to relate to you. So this experience, the last 4 years, it has been life-changing. It has been a beautiful experience. It's been a beautiful experience. And so I am so very thankful. A lot has happened. For those of you that listen to the podcast all the time, you know that my mother passed away in 2021. I started this podcast in 2020. Unfortunately, she didn't get the opportunity to hear it because she was sick at the time when I started the podcast, and she never recovered. And in 2021, she passed away. And so I always talk about my mom, of course, because I miss her, and I always talk about her because I want her memory and who she is to always be a part of this podcast. Her birthday was August 11th. The date of her death was September 7th, which will be next month. And so, but like I said, this ride, this journey has been so awesome. And through it all, so much has happened. When you go back over episodes from 2020, 2021, 22, you will hear so many different stories about this podcast and the journey and the growth and everything that has happened along the way. One of my co-hosts, Rebecca, my other co-host, Jackie, and several guests that have come. You will hear a lot of good topics. And like I said, it's been a beautiful journey, and I'm just so thankful to everyone that participated along the way. I am not making this episode about my journey because I'm leaving, okay? Because I know somebody's probably thinking, oh, what's going on? Is she leaving? No. She's giving it up? No. I'm not giving this up. I am simply taking a moment to talk about my journey and what it's been like and how through ups and downs I had to keep going. There are days I wanted to just delete every episode. There are days that I was discouraged. I didn't see the podcast progressing the way I wanted it to progress. But things are great. And the podcast is doing very well. And I'm very happy about that. And because it is doing well, people are listening. People are supporting. People are sending me feedback. I'm thankful. But even if nobody listens, I'm still going to do this. Even if it's just one person, guess what? I am still going to continue to do this. Why? Because this is a part of my life journey. This is my life's journey to inspire others. And so I just want to share this with you to say, like I said, I just want to say thank you. And I'm going to continue to move forward. All right. So now I do have an inspirational quote. My inspirational quote is, be the best you can be and show up in the moment. Be the best you can be and show up in the moment. Because when you show up in the moment, you will impact someone in a way you did not before. That's right. You will impact someone in a way you did not before. It is important for us to show up every day. In the beginning of this episode, in my introduction, I talked about distraction. Many of us are distracted. Many of us are distracted by social media. Many of us are distracted by things that just come up in our lives. And distraction is an enemy. Show up in the moment every day, every moment. And when I say show up, I'm not talking about your physical body being present in a room, sitting in a chair. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about showing up in the moment to contribute, to be impactful, to be mindful and thoughtful and considerate of everything and everyone that is around you in that moment. Focused. Mentally focused on the very moment. Because when you show up in the moment, you are not distracted. When you show up in the moment, your mind is not thinking about the vacation you're going to take in a few weeks. When you show up in the moment, your mind is not focused on the decisions you have to make next month. Show up in the moment to savor and create memories that are necessary. Show up in the moment to bring all of you to the moment for someone else that needs you. Show up in the moment to engage in conversations and to be intimate with those that need you. Intimacy does not mean physically, and the mature people know that, okay? Intimacy means into you, that means paying attention to you, okay? So, but show up in the moment. Show up in the moment to be the best person you can be. And I am not talking about being perfect. I'm talking about showing up in the moment to be impactful and to make a difference. Because if you are not showing up in the moment for your children, for your family, for your husband, for your wife, for your friends, if you are not showing up in the moment, ask yourself the question, what are you doing? And what are you focused on? When you show up in the moment, you will have an opportunity to create beautiful memories. When you show up in the moment, you will have an opportunity to savor good memories in your heart from good moments. When you show up in the moment, you will be able to be more engaging to make someone feel important. That's right. So show up in the moment. It is so important for us all to understand the power of showing up in the moment. Not being distracted by anything. When a person is easily distracted, they are distracted by a phone call. They are distracted by someone talking about something that's not important. Show up in the moment. Show up in the moment to gravitate to everything that will help you to be stronger, better, more insightful, more knowledgeable. Show up in the moment to pay attention so that you won't miss anything. One day, I was with my daughter, and we were just spending some quality time together, and I picked up my phone just for a second. And she looked at me, and her face changed. And in my mind, I said, why is her face changing? She didn't look too happy when I picked up my phone. So she said, Mom, you're not present. What's on your mind? And so I put my phone away, and I started talking to her, and I realized in that moment how important it was to be present in that very moment. Because tomorrow is not promised to none of us. The next minute, the next hour, it is not promised to none of us. And when you decide to show up in the moment, to engage in the conversation, to engage by just paying attention, to be intimate with your loved ones, by just being close to them in the moment, when you show up in the moment, you will make a difference. When you show up in the moment, you will also learn something you've never learned before when you show up in the moment. When you show up in the moment, you will observe to understand things you didn't understand before when you show up in the moment. So what I'm saying to you is this. The power of being present is not always physical. The power of being present is to bring all of you in the moment to be all of you for someone else when you show up in the moment. So I hope that you got something out of what I just said. I hope that what I said has made you think. I hope that what I have said has made you just look back into something you may have done. And I hope that you decide that you're not going to do that anymore. You're going to show up in the moment going forward. Remember, tomorrow is not promised. And when you show up in the moment, you will show up to be all of you in the moment for someone else. Our friends need us. Our family needs us. People need us, need you. All of us are important to one another in some capacity. So show up in the moment. Well, that is the conclusion of this episode. And I thank you for tuning in to listen to SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. Once again, if you would like to give to this podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or Venmo. I thank you again for your support and your donations. This podcast is going to continue on. My goal is to progressively give people something to think about by being inspired. So I hope you have a good day, and I hope that you continue to stay focused, show up in the moment, stay positive, be mindful of your actions, be the best person you can be. I'm not talking about being perfect, but I'm simply talking about being the best person you can be in the moment. You have a good day, and if you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Amazon, Audible, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Wherever you listen to podcasts, subscribe to me there. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, SB Favor. You can find all of the episodes there as well. And just follow me on social media if you would like as well. Once again, share this podcast with others. And I thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. Make sure you stay focused. Make sure you pray and have a good day.